Members, once again, welcome you in this class. And from our previous video, the previous lesson, we were looking at vectors, and still, last time we had looked at collinear points, and still in this lesson, we are looking at collinear points, but in case they have drawn for you a figure, and they want you to deal with the figure. So this is the figure of ours. Students normally have a negative attitude towards these things which are worded, but it's a matter of going through these words and you find out what you can understand. Most of these things are very understandable. They're saying, before you start, members, you subscribe to our channel so that we have a bigger number of viewers and we all benefit from this thing. Now, in the following figure, OA is equals to vector A. What does it imply? It means that from O up to A, all this is vector A. Then I'm saying that OB is vector B. OB is vector B. A vector must have direction, and still it has to have magnitude. So its direction is this, it is facing up, and it has magnitude of vector B. Now, they have gone ahead to tell us that C and D are midpoints. Let me ask Ellen. Ellen, what is the meaning of midpoints? No. It cannot be in 3 times, or it can't be 3. We don't have the word 3 halves. Very good. Yeah, Ellen has repeated and said that when we say midpoints, it is as if that point is cutting those edges or those lines by a half. So when we say C and D are midpoints of OA and AB respectively, the word respectively will imply that C is a midpoint of OA and D is a midpoint of AB. Meaning that D being a midpoint of AB, it means that this is a half and this is a half. So D is dividing BA into 2. And also C is dividing OA by a half. So, rather, since C is a midpoint of OA, it means that OC is equal to CA. They are equal in magnitude. Now, other things which they add, they have said that E is a point on BC. BC. So, on BC, there is a point E such that BE, to get BE, we shall be getting 2/3 of BC. The moment you finish interpreting this question, the rest of the things become as fine as you can. I see Frank smiling. That is good. It means that the number is very, very, very easy. The part of the question is saying express in terms of A and B the vectors BE. So let's see how we get vectors BE. Members, vectors is like a shortcut. You cannot take a route that is very long to get to BE. We shall take the shortest route that is going to give us BE. And as you take that route, always ensure that where you're going, those quantities you can easily get them from the information given here. Now, BE. You're going to get vector BE. That is part A. My Roman 1. They need vector BE. Rina, how do you get vector BE? Good. Rina is saying that even they have already given it here, that BE is 2/3 of BC. So what you come and do, yes, say that BE is 2 out of 3 of BC. But then now, how are you going to get BC? How are you going to get BC? To get BC, Bridget, very good. Bridget is saying that Since to get BC, we have to start from point B and end at point C, we can say BO plus OC. That is Bridget. Thank you so much. So it will be 2 out of 3 of BC. But BC is BO. We shall have BO plus OC. Very good. So this is the same as 2 out of 3 of BO. Now, when it is OB, it is vector B. So when it is BO, we have changed the direction. So it is going to become negative vector B. So we shall have negative vector B plus OC. They have said that C is a midpoint of OA, meaning OC is a half of the all OA because it cut it into 2 parts. So we shall have it as a half of OA, but OA was given as vector A. So we shall have it as vector A. Now, this is going to be equal to 2 out of 3. These things inside the bracket, you can take the LCM. Why am I taking the LCM? This is like B out of 1, and this is out of 2. So the LCM is 2. When you take the LCM, we shall get 2 divided by 1, we shall get 2. 2 times negative B, you'll get negative twice vector B, plus when you get 2 divided by 2, you get 1. 1 times vector A, you get vector A. And this one would mean that you're going to have 2 out of 3. Then here it would be, I would prefer it when someone brings out the positive one first. So A minus 2B out of 3. Rather, sorry. It is out of 2. Vincent had already seen it, and I saw him saying, you change it to 2. So this is going to be equal to 2. This is 3 and 2. They are all denominators. They can be multiplied together to make it a 6. So it is 2 out of 6. Then A minus 2 vector B. And this can be reduced to 2 can go. And here we shall have 3. So it is 1 out of 3. I've divided by 2 into A minus twice B. That is how we can get our get our first part. Our first part needed BE, and we've gotten it. With vectors, failure to get the first part can affect your final answer. Failure to get the first part can affect your final answer. Now, let's go to OE. The other part needed is OE. So how do we get OE? That is Roman 2. How do we get OE? Members, to get OE, we shall still go to our diagram. And we shall take the root whose things are already given. So to get OE, I need to come and say that maybe my OE can be, I have to start from O and end at this point. So before you take any root, first can I easily get that information from what has been given? So for OE, I can say that it is OB plus BE. Why do I use OB? I already have B. Why do I use plus BE? Because when I've reached that B, to get there I have to add B and E. BE. And BE, I've already gotten it as this. So, allow me to say that my OE is equals to, OB. I'll first move up to OB. After reaching at OB plus, but I'm going to E. I've reached at B, so I will say plus BE. So we'll say plus BE. Very excellent. But we have everything given to us. We have gotten OB given as vector B. Substitute it there. Plus BE. BE has been given here, but I cannot go back to all this, yet I already have it summarized here. So it will be plus a third of vector A minus twice vector B. Richard is saying, sir, decrease on the speed. Okay. So now here, we have over 1. A 3 and a 1, they can be taken under the LCM of Claire is saying 3. Good. 3. Now, 3 divided by 1. When you divide 3 by 1, you get 3. Then 3 times b, you'll have 3b plus, when you divide 3 by 3, you get 1. When you multiply 1 into this, it will keep a minus 2b. Very interesting. Now, when you collect like terms together, you'll see that this is, allow me to do like this. So this one will be the same as 3b minus 2b. We shall have b. 3b minus 2b. We shall have b. Then plus an a out of 3. So this one can write it as a third. One can bring, because it is over 3. I'm getting the upper thing, I'm dividing it by 3. So it is a third of the upper thing. Which upper thing can be written as a plus b. So this is my, one can say maybe therefore OE is equals to a third into a plus vector b. Here one could have said that maybe BE is equals to that. Now, the part 3 of the question wants us to find vector BD. We need BD. But go to your diagram and see BD. But did they talk about that D? Because I said D is, there is a point there, meaning that D, there is something wrong with D. So come and revise. C and D are midpoints. You see, meaning that D is also a midpoint. So it is dividing some line into 2 equal parts. And which part is that? D is dividing BA, meaning that when I need BD, BD is the same as a half of BA, a half of all these things. So I will say BD is equals to a half of BA. But do I have BA? No, I don't have BA. But I can get BA because I already have BO and OA. Because if I'm to get BA, it means I have to start from B and end up at A. And don't say, let's say BD plus BA, yet you are looking for that BD. So you take the route that will take you to A without passing by what you are looking for. So, since we need BA, allow me to say that we shall have BO plus OA. Reason, I have my BO, though they gave me OB, but I can change the direction and make it BO, and I already have my OA, which is given as A. So, class, allow me to say that this is a half of BA, rather of BO, we shall have BO plus OA. So this is the same as a half. BO will be negative B plus, to be negative B plus OA, which is A. So this is the same as a half into A minus B. As simple as this. So after getting this, after getting these points, this is our BD. Those are all marks we have pocketed. Very good. Susan, why are you smiling? Okay. The things are okay. That is the reason. Then part B of ours, which is the last part of the question, they are saying that show that O, E, and D lie on the straight line. I told you that this is the same as showing that those points are collinear. It means that if it is that part B, collinear, O, E, and D, you have a line, there is a point O, you have E, you have D. The trick with these ones which are having diagrams is that you must have maybe gotten some things out of these from all the workings you've done. So, let's see. Here we shall derive points OE. We can derive a point OD. We can derive a point ED. First see through these points you've written, is there any point that I've gotten? Then, is there any point that you've gotten? Which point? Good, OE. So since I've already gotten OE, I don't need to find it again here. So I will say OE already, I've seen that already, my OE is equals to a third A plus vector B. That is my OE. So I need to look for any other point. I can use OD, I can use ED, depending on the easiest. Let me assume that maybe I've used the OD, but in your free time, try using ED and see if you get the comparisons like mine. So let me try using point OD. You're going to allow me squeeze so that all our calculation is fixed on the same point, or if you have copied it, allow me remove this, allow me remove this, allow me remove this so that we can easily see our work very, very well. Okay. Now, I've decided to take point OD. I've decided to take point OD. Now, if I take point OD also, OD is going to be equaling to what? Looking at the diagram, OD. I'm going from O up to D. This is still my point B. But I'm going from O up to D. Now, to move from O up to D, what am I going to do? It means that I'm moving from OB and BD, and I already have everything. I have OB as B, and I have BD as I have A minus B. So I already have everything in place. So I will say OD is equaling to OB plus BD. Interesting. So this is the same as OB is vector B, it's already given there, plus BD. My BD is a half into A minus vector B. Very good. Even if I remove this, there is no problem because all the information I need, I've already obtained it. So I'm just going to say that here I can take the LCM, which would be 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2 times B. It will give me 2B plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times the bracket is going to be A minus vector B. Interesting. So here, I'm having 2B from correct like terms. I'm having 2B and a B, but minus. So it is 2B minus B, and that one will give me 1B. So I'll write B plus that A out of 2. This is the same as. You can begin with the A. So it can be A plus vector B out of 2. Even though you don't show this step. But I can end up saying that since I'm dividing the whole thing by 2, then it is a half of that point A, rather vector A, plus vector B. And I say that this is my OD. Remember, our question is, show that points O, E, and D are collinear or lie on a straight line. And I've already gotten my OE as a third A plus B, and I've already gotten my OD as a half into A plus B. What does it mean? It means that the bracket is already the same. Actually, another thing, students, the moment they ask you to show that they are collinear and you find the brackets are the same and they cannot be factorized, just know that there is a problem. The brackets have to be the same so that you easily show that they are parallel. The first point is already shown. Remember, when we are trying to look for collinearity, we must show that there exists a common point. There must be a common point. Number 2, we must show after there being a common point, you must show that these points are still parallel. Now, the thing of the common point is already sorted because we are having OE. We are having our OE as a third. A plus B. Meaning the common point is already there. O. So, this one is already sorted. So we have to sort this parallel. Show that they are parallel. It's better even you can divide them so that you get a ratio. So that you get that multiple or that constant, which when multiplied in any can bring out the fact that they are parallel or they cannot meet. How do we show that? Here, showing that, let me say, showing that they are parallel. Showing that they are parallel. How do we show that they are parallel? Get OD divided by OE. You will have a half A plus vector B divided by a third A plus vector B. This one will cancel with this, and you'll be having your vector reduced now. You'll be having a vector reduced, implying that you'll be having it as OD out of OE is equaling to a half divided by a third. This is the same as a half times the reciprocal, which is a 3 out of 1. So it is the same as 3 out of 2. Meaning that the ratio of OD to OE is the same as 3 out of 2. This is the simplest route that we can take. When you cross multiply this, you're going to get 2OD is equals to 3OE. But I told you that we need to express one vector as a ratio of the other. Implying that here, if I make OD the subject, it will be the same as, I'll divide by 2, both sides, so it will be 3OE out of 2. Implying that to get OD, there is something that we multiply in OE, and that something is what we call a constant. So to get OD, we multiply a constant 3 out of 2 to get OE. What does it mean? Sorry. To get OD, we multiply a constant 3 out of 2 in OE to get OD. Implying that the fact that there is something you multiply to get OE, rather to get OD, to get OD, there is something you multiply in OE, and that something is a 3 out of 2, which is our constant, or which is our scalar. It implies that OD and OE are parallel. So, you'll say, since OD is equals to 3 out of 2 OE, comma, OD and OE are parallel. OD and OE are parallel. And since they contain a common point O, since they contain a common point O, then points O, E, and D are collinear. And you stop there. In our examinations here, this question can come carrying out 12 marks. Those ones who have followed it, you can clap for me, and I see members are doing it already. Thank you so much for listening. Go through it again, subscribe. I will upload for you some questions there. You go through. When you get challenges, you let me know, and you keep advising us for any other lessons or topics which you would need us to discuss for you. Thank you for listening. I wish you all the best. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and comment. Have a great day.